Hey, sports fans! Welcome to the Obi Sports Talk Show, where I'm your host, Obi. I want to welcome you in. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome in, and just glad to have you aboard. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're a return viewer, welcome back. And remember, you gotta like these videos, share them with people. Let's try to get this out there. I'm here talking sports for you guys. And just sharing some insight with you and about some different things about what I think and my opinion and stuff like that. We're breaking down the baseball previews. Got this cool shirt on here, the Cleve with the feather. Oh, I love it. It would be nice if they could go that mascot for the Indians and just go with the feather instead of calling them the tribe. Just call them kind of the tribe and just go with the feather. That was sweet. But anyways, let's just go ahead and dive in. We're going to talk about the NL West and how we think that's going to play. How I think it's going to play out. And we're going to start with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They picked up Asdrubal Cabrera, but they lost starter Mark Leake. Their offense is led by David Peralta, Christian Walker, Nicomed Kyoto, Cole Calhoun, and Edro Escobar. It'd be interesting to see if they get some other guys that may step up, and they can score. Because they may need maybe one or another guy or something like that. Because some of those guys get cold. Sometimes you want to up down your lineup. You want to try to have your whole entire lineup be dominant, and it's a pretty dominant offensive lineup for the most part. So they should be able to score some runs and kind of keep other teams on their toes. Their starting pitcher. They get Madison Bumgarner back, but his velocity has dropped down a little bit. So how much does he really have left? He was a good standout pitcher for the Giants and won them a couple of series, stuff like that. But he's kind of gone down. Zach Gallen, a fastball with vertical movement and a curveball that might make him tough to hit. Seems like last year he kind of had that curveball working for him. Caleb Smith has the high speed heater, reverse splits and gets soft contact with his splitter. Luke Weaver, kind of a little bit of a veteran for them a little bit, needs to bounce back. He had a couple rough seasons, especially last year. And then Merrill Kelly, who was an extreme strike thrower. So they got some pieces there in the starting rotation, but it may not be one of the strongest rotations, especially in the division. Their bullpen, they have a young closer, it's Stephon Cretin, who is a combination of a hard sinker, a curveball. It's tough to put the barrel on, so that could be dangerous. They can get the bullpen to him, get in there and try to get him to close out games. He's got some dominant stuff. Kevin Kinkle has a classic fastball and slider, and he should bounce back from a rough season. He just needs to trust his stuff a little bit. I think they say sometimes, like last year, that he kind of had a hard time trusting his stuff. And Kerry Mella, increased confidence gives him a chance to be good again this year. I guess he had a slow year last year, and so it'd be good to see if he could kind of duplicate what he did last year for them, and in a longer season that could play dividends. A bullpen for them could play dividends, and for them to try to get a division crown. It's going to be tough because they got two tough teams in front of them. We'll talk a little bit about those two teams a little bit. They might need to make some moves to contend or make the playoffs, but I don't see them being a playoff team this year. They're probably going to finish third in the division. It's just the way it is because there's two teams that are way better than the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Colorado Rockies. They lost Nolan Arenado right before spring training started. They traded him to the Cardinals. But they still do have Trevor Story and Charlie Blackmon and Ray McMahon. And they're the main three in their lineup. What will they get from some other guys in the lineup, especially a Ramil Tapi, who's a young prospect? And more likely, it's not going to be enough to win many games for them because of the type of division they play in. They're really going to struggle to score runs at times. They don't really have a full dominant offensive starting lineup, and that's going to play dividends. That's going to play not dividends, but it's going to play big problems for them. Starting pitcher Herman Marquez doesn't he finds a little extra velocity every year, so that's a good thing, and he'll probably be considered their ace. But he needs to learn how to trust his curveball. You know, sometimes he's one of those guys that can't trust his off-speed stuff, his changeups or stuff like that, his curveballs, his breaking stuff. Kyle Freeland throws a few heaters, but he typically throws more sliders, more type of slider type pitcher, and you got to try to keep those guys get off balance by trying to throw sliders. And when you're going up against a good team like what you're going up against now with some of these tougher teams in the division, you know, if you can keep them guessing by not throwing as many fastballs to try to work your other stuff in, that's going to play a big factor. John Gray, he's been a roller coaster type of pitcher. He's either up or he's down, and they need to get more consistency out of him. Sintezella needs his slider to be a successful pitcher. It's a pitcher that he relies on. He throws more sliders than he throws anything else. He needs to be more consistent with it. He's got to trust it a little bit, and sometimes like that, he seems like he just doesn't trust his slider, and he tries to go to his other pitches, and they're not his best pitches. Their bullpen, Daniel Bard is their closer, 97 mile per hour fastball. Michael Givens comes in throwing 95, so they got a couple big flamethrowers. The bullpen, and he may see some closer action as well. They might try to split the two between Bard and him. And then Young, and then Yency Almonte, he's a strike thrower. But overall, they probably will make more trades and start rebuilding because they just can't compete. And they're going to finish last in this division. There's just no way around it because there's too much talent on other teams around, and they just can't keep up. And you're going to probably see them trade guys like maybe of Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, maybe if Herman Marquez is hot, or some of these other pitchers that they have get hot, or maybe even like a Michael Givens, maybe a player that gets traded for them. They're just going to make more moves, I believe. The Dodgers, by far, are probably the best team in the division. They won the World Series last year, and they are heavy favorites to win it again. Their offense they got offensive machines up and down the line. The guys can hit. Cody Bellinger, Mookie Betts, Max Puncy, AJ Pollock, Corey Seager, and Will Smith are the heavy hitters and provide plenty of offense. The guy to watch is Edwin Ross. It's the guy that's probably going to see a whole lot more action this year. The 162-game season, they're going to probably work him in and try to get him some bats. He's the guy to see what he can do. He's another young stud for the Dodgers. They seem to just find these young studs. They seem to tear it up. Now, starting pitching, probably by far one of the best starting pitching rotations in all of baseball. Clayton Kershaw picked up Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler, Juan Urias, and the fifth spot's going to come down to two veterans, David Price and Dustin May. Whatever one seems like they're going to get the most out of them and the spring training, see what they can do. And both of them are Price is coming off injury. We're trying to see what he can do for them. And they got one of the best starting rotations that will get a lot of strikeouts up and down that rotation. The bullpen is Kensley Jansen, who's a great closer. They got Blake Treinen, Corey Keeble, Brister, Grateful, Joe Kelly. Bullpen, a lot of experience. And the bullpen that will keep you guessing. Lots of young talent, and they will shine. I mean, it's just up and down. They're just probably the best team. And knowing a team like the Dodgers, crunch time, make a move. May try to strengthen their bullpen. Maybe get like a Michael Givens or somebody that type player to try to help build their bullpen up. Might not mean to trade with the Rockies necessarily, but I look for them to make a move to maybe even upgrade their start rotation, depending on if we don't get anything out of that fifth spot with the Dustin May or or David Price. They may try to make a move there and move one of those guys to bullpen and try to go out and get a starter. First place in the division and a very high chance to compete and win the World Series again. Just a great team the Dodgers are. Padres. Another offensive hitting machine. Up and down the lineup, guys that can hit with power and just blow you away. Eric Hosmer, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Will Myers. They will provide the power and they will drive the runs. Players to watch: Trent Grisham, Austin Nolan. Good chance to make a major impact for them. It kind of keeps the pressure off the other guys. But again, an offensive team that's going to score runs. And yeah, it's going to be hard when they go up against a good pitching to try to shut this team down. Like them within Dodgers, it's going to be hard to shut them down. They brought in Yu Darvish and Blake Snell. And they got a young prospect in Dinsley Lamont, who looks to continue his success from last year, where he was just phenomenal. Chris Paddock and Aaron Mudge look to severe up the last two spots. The rotation will be the key to their success when they're going to go, especially when they go up against the Dodgers. Can their pitching match them for pitch, keep their offense from scoreboard and try to leak out one or two runs off their starting rotation or bullpen. It's going to be a matter of who can get it done faster. Bullpen consists of Drew Pomerantz, Elmo Pega, and Pierce Johnson. We'll look to anchor the pen, and we'll need some help and maybe make a trade later on to try to get them to bolster their bullpen a little bit. I think they'll be okay the rotation, but they may be a guy that pulls the trigger. I mean, Mike Clevenger is there as well. As long as he's healthy, he'll slide into that starting rotation. Kind of forgot about him, but he'll slide in there. I believe they'll finish second division, but they're going to push the Dodgers pretty hard, and they could be a sleeper to win the division and obviously make a deep run in the playoffs with their type of team they have. The Giants: Brandon Belt, Alex Dickerson, Ivan Longorius, Mike Strimmy, and the leaders will provide some thump in the offense. They need to get some action from some get big numbers from Buster Posey and Brandon Crawford. They will need to score to keep up with the teams like the Padres and the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks in this division, because they will eat them alive, because they don't really match up very well with them, especially the starting rotation when you got guys like Kevin Gossman, Johnny Cueto, Anthony DeStefani, Logan Webb, and Sean Anderson. They're not the best rotation, but they will get a lot of quality starts, and they will push you. It's the Giants. The Giants always seem to play a lot better than what they should on paper. Always a team that's fighting, it seems like, until like the last few weeks of the season. But I just don't think they have enough. And they may be a team that makes some trades unload and maybe rebuild like the Rockies do. And they're going to finish fourth in division, and they may even finish last behind the Colorado Rockies. So breaking down the NL West, the Dodgers will finish first. The Padres will finish second. The D-backs will finish third. The Giants will finish fourth. The Rockies will finish fifth. The Dodgers are going to be tough to beat in the playoffs. And the Padres will make playoffs and maybe a sleeper for a deep run. So there you have it. That's how we break down the NL West. The AL East will be next up. And before we close, I wanted to share with you a pretty interesting story. I may have shared this with some people before, but the interesting thing is we had a layover in LA one time, and me and a couple people were like, hey, let's go to catch the Dodgers game because the Dodgers are home. It's like, all right, we'll take the. Of course, none of us had a car, so we thought, like, hey, we'll just take the bus. You know, take like the bus thing they have there or whatever, get on there and like try to figure out how to get there and get off this one stop where somebody said it was, and could not figure out how to get there. And we probably asked like 2 or 3 people as we were passing, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, I don't know how to get there." So we found a taxi, thinking a taxi driver could figure out how to get us to LA. No, he had no idea. We never made it to LA Stadium. But it's just crazy. Like, you live in LA and you don't know how to tell people how to get to LA, to Dodger Stadium. You can't even put us in the right vicinity of the ballpark on what streets or something like that, or give an idea of where it would be. And we never got to make it. I just find that hard to believe. Like, if somebody asked me how to get to Indians game, I could tell them what roads they need to look for. They didn't even know what roads to look for. I mean, maybe do people in LA not go to Dodgers games? I mean, obviously, if they're that good of a team, always put up a good team, why wouldn't you go to watch a Dodger game? Or do we just happen to hit all the Dodger people, all the people that were not Dodger fans? We're not baseball fans. Guess we will never know. I guess we'll have to make another trip out to LA to try to catch a Dodger game, so stay tuned to that. But hey, I just thought I would share with you guys. You know, sometimes you get these funny little stories about things. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the show. And what do you guys think? How do you think the NL West is going to shape out? Did I nail it? Do you have a different idea of who's going to shine, who may step up and take the division? Are we all on the same board? That's going to be the Dodgers. All right. Well, let's get on out. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, and I look forward to talking to you guys real soon. We'll break down the NL East. All right. Have a great night, guys. This is OB out.